Welcome to the Effects Loop. I'm Diaz.
I'm Chris.
I'm Marissa.
And we are keeping you in the loop of the guitar community. Alright, this episode is brought to you by StringJoy. StringJoy has awesome strings that you can do custom sets. Go check them out. All of us use them and love them. They do small gauges, or light gauges. They got heavy gauge. I mean, technically it's smaller, so I mean that's right, but it just sounds weird.
And bass strings and acoustic strings, and
I think they've got strings for your strings.
Sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually been seeing people pick them up in the group too, and been enjoying them. So
yeah, I know that Jamie Davis just got some not too long ago, so he put them on a few guitars. Yeah, but so StringJoy.com. Tell them that the Effects Loop sent you. Like, let them know.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So Chris, what's new?
Nothing. Or yeah, we didn't get anything, did we?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if I got anything. No, I haven't. It's kind of weird. So.
Oops.
Okay, that was cool.
Yeah, so that was interesting. So we'll go on to our gear news. This is gonna be like the shortest episode. If you notice, we're missing a person. Scott's not here. So everyone light a candle for Scott and just send some thoughts and prayers his way. No, everything's fine with Scott. He's out of town, so he can't record with us.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to gear news, and I want to point out we are staying focused, so maybe Scott is a problem. See Fender's new made in Japan guitar. So why don't you tell us about that, Chris? You found that, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if these are necessarily new because I don't really recall like Fender still making stuff in Japan, but I've seen around in groups that they still have. I just have no idea what's been made there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what they're coming out with is a traditional 50s Stratocaster with a racing stripe. So if you remember the like mid 2000s, I think they had like a series of Mustangs that had like a little racing stripe on them. It's like very similar to that, and we'll have the link down below if you want to take pictures of these.
Yeah, and it says they're doing 12-string strats.
Yep, you're bringing the Stratocaster 12 back.
Okay, is that the one with the god-awful ugly headstock?
Yep.
Okay, this one's not as bad because what you're thinking of is like it's still basically the Strat like shape, just like kind of elongated with
the one I'm thinking of looks like Johnny Bravo's hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this one's a little more like straightforward, so it's the stand like I don't know, not quite a triangle. So
it's the one that's like oh wait, I think I know. I really should open the link, but I'm having a really fun time guessing. Is it the one that looks straight like what is it, the original Telecaster, the No-Caster? Like it's just like it looks like a popsicle, like a creamsicle.
Oh, kind of, yeah. Just with like a little bit of like a beak sticking off of one side.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. So it's not as like gaudy looking, so props to that.
Okay.
The next one is a traditional 60s Jazzmaster in Paisley. If you're into that.
Paisley guitar. It's really, I think they're pretty.
Yeah, it's a nice pink Paisley, so if that's your jam. And then a mahogany offset Telecaster, which is basically a jazz body with tele appointments and a P90 in the neck. So the good thing about all these is they're sub 1,000. The most expensive one is the traditional Jazzmaster for whatever reason, but everything else is like 900 or 800.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if that's MSRP or if that's going to be like street value, so it could be a little less. So,
Well, and then the new Moore micro preamps, they already had the line out, right? So they're just adding some more.
yeah. They've had like your standard Vox sound, mesas, and all that other
They had a Mesa
good stuff
and stuff like that. There was like I think it was up to 9 or something like that. The numbers.
I think so. And then I think it was maybe a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months, we covered the next like 5 they released or so. So now we're on 16, 17, and 18, which is a Phoenix, which is like a German high gain metal type of deal. The 17 is a Kali Mark V, which I'm guessing is supposed to be a Mesa, another Mesa style, if that's what's considered Kali sound. That's a little out of my wheelhouse.
California, isn't it?
Well, yeah. But I don't know if it... What is it? What's its description? Yeah, it just says Kali Mark V, which I think is a Mesa amp, so we'll just go with that. But the cool one is the 18, which is a custom plexi-based sound, which I listened to the video, and like I said, we'll have the links to where we got all this information. They actually all sound pretty good. Like the first series of this line were kind of iffy. I think I even like showed Marissa them when I was like trying to decide what I was wanting to do, like amp and preamp wise. But I don't know if you listened to these yet or not.
No, I haven't listened to them yet.
Okay, Marissa's not talking. We can't see you. We can't hear you shake your head.
I said nuh-uh.
Okay. But yeah, they're still got all the 2 channels on them, so I might actually like be tempted to grab the Plexi one and just see like how good it is.
Yeah.
Can I correct you?
And then what?
Do what?
What?
Can I correct you for a second?
Oh, she's gonna, yeah.
That's Roman numeral 4.
Full? What? No. What was I? What the?
You said 5.
Oh.
I can't count.
Not 4.
It's Monday. I'm not supposed to be able to count on Monday. All right. The next one is Earth. Okay, it's not officially announced, but it's been leaked. Which
They like
it should.
teased it, and everyone was freaking out about it. And then
By the time
people
this airs, it should be announced.
Huh?
So I was gonna say by the time this episode airs, it should be announced. So go us.
Yeah. Well, they like everyone was like, oh yeah, blah da 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 da, such and such, like figuring it out. And then someone posted, they're like, oh yeah, this is out for sale at Sam Ash. It was like $199.99. It's the Aqueduct, and then it's a Vibe.
Yeah.
So
it's got, I think I counted 9 modes to it.
Yeah. Rate, depth, and you can choose a bunch of different things.
So which I think is probably like one of the first like, well, I guess it's not like Univibe, I guess it's more like vibrato, so there's probably plenty out there with multiple like sound options, but 9 seems pretty high compared to other things that are out there. So
Well, I mean,
cool.
It was pretty cool because like everyone was just kind of freaking out. I think that was like pretty good marketing.
Oh yeah.
So they had a really good way to do it with everyone kind of guessing. I saw it on quite a few groups at a time. So
yeah.
But, that's pretty cool. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is Seymour Duncan announces the Foos. So Scott found this, but like I kind of really wanted to talk about it. So Seymour Duncan has made pedals before, and they weren't all super awesome, but like they were pretty good stuff. But the thing is Seymour Duncan pedals were actually cheap. So I think the Shapeshifter was like their tremolo, and I had one of their overdrive or distortion pedals, but this is a fuzz.
It's a fuzz synth.
And, yeah, a fuzz synth, and it's got a filter, like you do like a cocked wah or It's got LFO assigned to filter frequency. Like you can do a rhythmic filter by doing that. So it's got a tremolo. I mean, auto wah. It's pretty cool. So
it has Canada in it.
All of those like different things that you're getting in this pedal. I'm sure I can't find the street price on it.
Yeah, I don't see it either, at least in the article.
I'm guessing this is going to be about $150.
Which maybe all the things it can do, like I listened to the video and it's getting into that like somewhat 8-bit like territory, getting into, if you're familiar with Stranger Things, which hopefully you are by now, it's got like that kind of synth going on.
Yeah.
With it. So for like a guitar pedal and with all the technology we have to like get those types of sounds from a guitar, this is going to be pretty cool.
Yep. So
and definitely
that's something that I really want to try when it comes out.
Yeah.
So hopefully they have it at my local Guitar Center, or maybe I can find a local dealer.
And Seymour Duncan, if you're listening, email the FX Loop podcast at gmail.com and hit us up.
Yeah. Let us have some fun. But that moves us on to our topic. So what do you guys think about all right, so I'm gonna like explain the whole thing as my kid runs through to the bathroom.
Yeah.
That was that door you heard. But Will Hugh, a listener, put on in our group, asking pretty much, what do you guys think about bands who replace a vocalist? Hold on, I want to actually find the post because he worded
I got the post. I can read it.
I like the way he worded it. It was, what do you guys think about bands who replace the vocalist? At the risk of sounding a little hippy dippy, I feel like there is a point where the overall sound of the band transcends one member.
Yep.
So there's a lot of good arguments on it. Well, not arguments, but discussions and different viewpoints. And I think it's like, I'm going to start it with, it's one of those things that everyone's going to kind of have a different viewpoint on. And it honestly, I think boils down to what band it is and what connection you have to them. Because there's some bands that like you can't replace a single member, or I'll be like, no. So I mean, and there's some bands where I really don't care, but like that's like Incubus when they got rid of Dirk Lance, the bass player. Like it kind of just the band, it just kind of stopped for me. I don't like anything up after that really. But like you could, if it was like Boston or I don't know, some other band, I would be like, I don't care, you're gonna replace everyone. But I think like a common thing is with these bands is when they replace their vocalist, they get someone who sounds like them, like sounds like the original vocalist. So at that point, I think, go ahead, and if you're like turning into a cover band of your own band or whatever, like you've got that guy who used to do tribute bands like Arnell did in Journey, like just go ahead and stay Journey. But I think like if you're like wanting to write a whole lot of new music and do this thing where you're trying to move forward, I think sometimes like you should just change the name.
Yeah, at that point that's a good place to rebrand if you're going to be doing like a whole lot of new stuff that's maybe not for your old fans. Like if I don't know, U2 decided to do metal because they replaced the guitarist or something, like they replaced the Edge.
I was about to say, are you really not going to say his name like you don't know it? I don't know, like a band I never listened to, U2.
We're going to replace Mr.
any
Dave
member of the
Evans,
band, which I don't know any of their names.
Totally not super fan or anything.
Okay, so Trey Cool wasn't the original drummer in Green Day, was he?
Nope.
Right. No.
Okay, so they had a drummer before him. But did he play on any other stuff, or was it has Trey Cool been the only recorded drummer?
I think what is it, 1039 or Smothered, whatever that very first album in like 89 was, I think that was their old drummer, and then Dookie might have been Trey Cool's first. Okay,
but like another thing is too is I think you have to choose what you like when you want to say replacing a member. because in my opinion, even though you have the same name, there's to that point where you are finding your identity right towards the beginning of being a band.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have that like definitive lineup. Like we all like when Trey got together with Mike and Billy Joe, like you're like, okay, now that's Green Day.
Yep.
So
Okay, so I think Trey is the only recorded drummer.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because 39 Smooth came out in 90.
Right.
And that's when he started.
Okay, so it was like all their small town shows and stuff they were doing when they were starting. That was the old guy. If I remember a documentary, they weren't like too keen on his sound until like the old guy's sound, especially like after they met Trey at, I think it was like some kind of house party, I think is what I heard. And, you know, they're basically like, okay, old guy's getting the boot if we can get this guy.
Yeah, so Blink-182 replaced their old drummer Scott with Travis Barker. Now, Blink-182 had success with Scott. They did Dude Ranch with Scott, I believe. So that means like Cheshire Cat, Buddha, a lot of their earlier stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was, you know, still, you know, good Blink-182, but they really didn't hit it. I mean, Damn It was pretty big, but like they didn't have major mainstream success until Travis came in and did Enema of the State.
Yeah, and stuff like that, you know, you can't really like pin the success on like one person joining in either. You know, that could have just been like maybe they were missing something and you know, that was like the 1% that they needed.
Yeah, I think like there's times where you can change the singer, and it also depends on like the way the singer left. So like AC/DC, Bon Scott died, and then Brian Johnson joined in, and they're still AC/DC. But you know, one of the things I think though is it's not like it's just a swap out, because you know there's different eras too, like the Van Halen, Van Hagar stuff. So I think it's all like it's hard to pinpoint. I think my biggest thing that I came to realize with the discussion was it all depends on the band and how you feel. Like if there's a connection to them, like AC/DC, I have a big connection to. So it kind of was like there's two different eras, but I think it was okay. And it also happened when I wasn't alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't like experience it happening. Kind of like I'm trying to think one that happened. That I don't know. Stone Temple Pilots. All right, so that's one we've been talking about, and we had a heated discussion about. I don't think that Scott Weiland can really be replaced in Stone Temple Pilots because they've got this new guy, Jeff something, I believe, and they just recorded this album. They just came out with a new album, and it's the first album that has not had Scott on it. So, but I think the guy kind of sounds like Scott Weiland. Like he's doing the Scott Weiland thing. Falls kind of into my whole like cover artist.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a weird thing. I mean, Alice in Chains did it with, was it William Duvall? I saw them live with Will, and they were great, but Will's out there kind of doing the Lane Staley thing. You know, he's just kind of imitating that, or taking what people expect and performing that.
Right, which is probably the best thing to do if you're like, I think we used Journey as an example in the like pre-ep where we were kind of talking of like how I think there's like a 20-year like lull for them when was Steve Perry?
Yes,
is the one that died. And then they brought in whoever the new guy is. And
Arnell, something, you know, or like that's his last name or first. I can't remember.
I don't remember either, but like they've done, apparently I was like wanted to make sure that they've done like albums with the guy before I like brought the point up, and apparently they have. So yeah, that's one of those points of if you're wanting to stay as a band, make sure that you're getting something close to the original.
That's not the first person who replaced Steve Perry in Journey either.
Yeah, because I've got stuff in the 90s and 80s, which I think Steve Perry died in like 78 or something like that.
When I think of Journey, I think of stuff with Steve Perry.
Yeah.
I think of Faithfully, Open Arms, Separate Ways, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
What?
I dug in to Green Day.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, she's still on Green Day.
I am. So it was John, 39 Smooth.
Okay.
But Green Day has also had 4 drummers prior to Trey.
In that 3 year stint between. Oh wait, that was 4 years because Dookie was 94.
86 and 90.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So before Green Day got big.
Huh. Oh, here's another example that you could probably talk on is when Bono was out of commission for a couple of U2's gigs and they had the Chris guy come in and fill in.
No.
I feel like that's a bad example of filling in singers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, yes, Coldplay and U2 are similar styles.
It just wasn't.
But vocal-wise, they're not compatible, I don't think.
Not at all. It was weird.
It was very weird.
I don't like it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Have we really only been recording for 21 minutes?
Sounds like it, and we've hit all of our points. Wow.
Okay. You know what?
It's a weird
that just
day.
goes to point. Everyone acts like Scott talk, or I talk all the time. Look, I was in this episode and we finished in 22 minutes.
And we talked about everything, and we got Marissa talking.
Even Marissa talks, guys.
Right?
Oh no. How was your week? What's going on?
It's been kind of sucky.
Why has it been sucky? Now we're getting to know the FX Loop podcast section.
I like
Our problems suck.
I like long walks on the beach.
Yes.
Candlelit dinners. That's about it.
Yeah.
That's all I do. I just walk on the beach and have candlelit dinners.
Okay.
Even in your alone time, you just walk on the beach alone and have candlelit dinners by yourself?
I just actually walk with a potato in one hand and a candle in the other and eat it on the beach. Just don't get your two hands
raw
confused.
potato.
It's very painful. All right. So, I mean, shout out to our sponsor, StringJoy.
StringJoy. I hope you're okay with the shorter episode and we love your stuff.
Yeah. Like, we should probably, you know what? Let's just spend the next 15 minutes talking about strings.
Because we know all about strings. They're made of metal. They're twisted. They have little ball things on the end. We totally know everything about
I've
strings.
got it. What if we start prank calling listeners? Like, we'll just turn it into a whole, morning drive to work show. We'll just start calling
Seems
people.
like the best and worst idea, but
I only
say that
know
for
of
episode
2
30.
listeners, so.
well, cool.
So,
well,
my mom and Will Hugh. So no, but yeah,
Will.
thanks for sponsoring us, StringJoy. I guess for a short episode. Yeah, hey, listen, y'all have a good week. You don't have to listen to us twice as long. For the FX
3
Loop, I'm
times as long.
Diaz.
but hey, we gotta
What?
talk about leaving us reviews on iTunes.
Oh, we can spend
I
5
didn't
minutes
check to
talking
see
about
if we
leaving us
have
reviews on
any,
iTunes.
yeah,
At this
I don't
point,
know
they're
if we
just
have
like,
any
will you
new
shut
ones.
up and end the episode? No, yeah, go leave us a review. I think we've got 1 or 2 good ones.
Yep.
We actually do check them every once in a while and get a kick out of some of them. I love the one that says that I'm usually wrong, because that is actually correct.
Well, now they can extra tell us how wrong you are in today's, because it's not that long, so they can remember what you're wrong about.
Yeah. Take notes. That's
Take
your
notes.
take notes of what I'm wrong about and just list it in the group. And I completely will go on there and just be like, yeah, I'm probably wrong about that.
Yep, and also make sure you follow us on Instagram at the Effects Loop and join in the Facebook group because that post is probably still going to be there. So if you want to jump in on this conversation, like you
tell
might
me
have
tell me how wrong I am on this.
Yep, you can go to facebook.com/groups/the Effects Loop or just search the Effects Loop and you'll find it.
And send us an email at what is it? theeffectsloop@gmail.com. We need to get a at theeffectsloop.com going.
At the Effects Loop, or no, what would it be? The Effects Loop at theeffectsloop.com.
Oh, no. We could each get our own individual one and you can send hate mail.
Oof.
Yes.
Marissa at theeffectsloop.com. I'm just gonna start sending you emails for no reason. Talk more, talk less. Talk as much as you're talking now, but don't.
All right, but yeah, thank you guys for joining us. It's been fun. So
I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah, I might.
So
too.
for the Effects Loop, I'm Sleepy Diaz.
I'm slightly sleepy Chris, even though I had like a 16-ounce energy drink and should be bouncing off the wall right now.
And you had coffee.
And I had coffee.
Oh wait, hold on. Before Marissa does hers, I want to point out that Chris actually uses the term Gucci. We didn't record the pre-app, but it was in there. All right, Marissa, send us out.
Send us out. Just saying, I've been. Oh, or do we break her? Did we break you?
We broke her.
I'm getting the death
stare. Get out of here.
Okay, bye.
Episode 25, Trainwreck. Bye.
And I'm Marissa.
Thank you for joining us.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Dictionary, why is negativity always drawn out? Pictionary, visualize love, energize lives together. We undefeated, a plan to make weathers, no gloves needed. When we weed into the mindset of achieving and believing in a community that remains happy. Then after, the world should be one, hate annihilated, every heart is one, love again. So, don't buy